Welcome everyone to the first trader interview of BEM Funding. Today we're hosting Mohammed Ben Yahya. Maybe you know him from social media. I know him for years now. He's been a good friend of mine. Hi Mohammed, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. For anyone who doesn't know who you are, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Mohammed, 28 years old from Morocco. I started trading like 6 years ago. Mostly focus on prop firm trading.
Right now, I think you're traveling. Like it's been over a year since you were in Morocco the last time. How's that going?
Wow, it's a new experience. Seeing new people, talking to new people, exploring new cultures, and trying to keep trading from different places, not the comfort zone,
Yeah, but it must be fun, like trading in a different country, because I think most people trade for the freedom of it, and you're trading and you're free at the same time. So you do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah, trading from a different time zone, like if you compare the time zone here compared to time zone in Morocco, is so different. Like, for example, here you can trade Asia in the morning. Compared to Morocco, if you trade Asia, you need to keep yourself up at night after midnight.
Oh, that
Uh,
one's bad.
yeah, so, but in Morocco, you can trade New York at 2 p.m. Here it's a bit difficult to keep trading New York until the close of the market because it's nighttime, sleep time. So there is a bit different in the time zone, which is really good. So you can try to find new sessions for you, maybe trade in different sessions that used to trade before.
That must be actually good because, like, usually when people backtest, you can backtest any session that you want, but trading in the real time is so different. But now you have experience like trading in London and New York while you were in Morocco or in any other country. And now you're in Asia, and the Asia session is just right there in the middle of the day for you, and you can't even keep like staying awake for the New York. I think it must be good for the experience. But what do you think is the most profitable session for your way of reading the market?
Basically, I can say like every session can be profitable for any trader. It just depends on the way you see it. But sometimes, if you want to avoid like those high volatility markets, especially on high impact news on New York session. So I will say basically Asia session, London session are the best from what I realized so far, because I will say New York is more risky. Price is moving like aggressively and too many manipulation. And compared to Asia is slow, but also more clean. And it's still in the morning, so you can trade in the morning, finish your trading by lunchtime, and have the rest of the day.
And go play paddle.
Yeah, of course.
And plus, like, there's not a lot of news during Asian session, so I think it's just a little bit more comfortable. But mentioning paddle, outside of trading, what do you do right now? How do you spend your days in a foreign country?
Just like normal charts, laptop, coffee, pedal, good food, and sleep. That's it. Like every day, it's the same routine. Gym as well, because you have to keep yourself a bit busy, not just trading, because it's a lot of stress, and you need to look for something that's gonna make you forget a bit and remove that stress and the bad energy from your body. And the best thing to do is like even work out, lift some weights, and or play paddle to move and sweat a little bit, and then take a shower and you're like fresh again.
But I want to pay attention to one thing that you said. Oh, it's normal. Like the way you actually describe the normality here is that I just wake up and get my coffee, get my laptop and trade and go play paddle and go to the gym and et cetera, et cetera. But then there's like the rest of the traders like a majority of them, they get up, they take a shower, they go to work, and they have some bosses, like a corporate job, 9 to 5, whatever. It's not a crime. It's a good thing to be working, actually. And they just try to trade in between. And the dream is that to be able to trade whenever you want during the day. So I think your normal is just so different, but it's good that it became the normal to you. For some other people, it's just, oh, it's like a vacation. But I understand how stressful it can be because that's your full-time job. And it just shows me that every type of trader has something else to deal with during their day-to-day lives. Like some of them are stressful because of their job, and some of them are just stressful because they need the money because they're trading full time. So I think that was a good thing to mention. I'm assuming you answered this question a lot, but let's just talk about it a little bit. When did you discover what trading was?
So basically it was like 6 years ago, 2020, back in COVID time. As usual, discover it through Instagram, and just made my way through like trying to learn and doing research and trying every time. Of course, it's not gonna work from the first week or the first month, but it's it took like a few years to just get those consistent returns or profit.
Yeah. And how many years it took you to become actually profitable?
I'll say like after 3 years, maybe before, like less than 3 years, maybe made some profit, but it's not consistent. So after 3 years, it started becoming like back in 2024, the beginning of 2024, I can say like more consistent, like at least one payout, like in minimum 1 month or 2 months. That's the minimum. It could be more, but the minimum average is like one a month or 1 in 2 months at worst scenarios.
Yeah, but it must have been so difficult, and because there's like the drawdown era and there's a losing streak in between. So what kept you actually going when nothing was working for you?
I mean, if you think in another side, you look at yourself like you already wasted, like for example, 2 or 3 years. So we are already in. So if you go back, it's already wasted. So you don't have any other options just to try again and make it work. Because in the beginning, it's gonna be hard mentally to believe that it's gonna work. But once you start like showing some results, then it's gonna start kicking in. Like to say, okay, it makes sense now. There is something I can do, even if I keep trying again and again.
Yeah, it's like looking back now, like there must have been a moment that you said to yourself, okay, this is going to work, and I know that it's gonna work. Did you have a moment like that where you trusted yourself, where you trusted that trading could become the full-time income for you?
Yeah, of course, because you're gonna have like those moments where there is doubt. So you're gonna think, oh, is it gonna work? But at the same time, you're gonna, if you believe in that or you want it so bad, so you're gonna say, oh yes, it's gonna work. It's like sometimes it's like mentally is hard. So you're gonna be like in two different things at the same time. Your mind is gonna think, oh, is this thing's gonna work? And at the same time, you're gonna think, no, it's gonna work, because if I put in the work, then it's probably sort of like gonna have results. When? That's the question. So you just need to like keep the consistency and showing up to do the work, because you never know when, for example, you're gonna pass that challenge, or when, example, you're gonna have that winning trade, or when, example, you're gonna have that losing trade. So that's when the difference between keep showing up and stop taking, like for example, you taking long breaks to say, okay, I'm gonna get back later, because you never know if it's in that specific break, if you're gonna have something that's gonna push you to have some results or no. So you just need to try again every day, because that's when I realized that most of like the good results you have is when you don't expect it.
I think that's the mentality part and the most important part, because the moment you start believing that, okay, it's going to happen, it starts to happen. But this is something that you cannot explain to other people, or I cannot explain to other people, because it's something to be felt within. Like every person can feel it like in a different way. But that's the mentality part. But as for the strategy or trading wise, did you change something that actually moved you from here to here in terms of profits, in terms of profitability or consistency? Like maybe you've been trading like lower time frames and then you switched back to 50 minutes, 1 hour, and then the results went up. Like, did you have strategy changes like this?
It's not strategy change, but mostly like reducing maybe pairs and trading times, like trading hours, basically. Maybe I'm not gonna say time frames because I'm someone who likes to check different time frames. I'm not gonna say like only lower time frames, but I trade sometimes 1 minute, I trade 3 minutes, I trade 5 minutes. But before I go to look at the 1 minute or 5 minute, I need to look for the weekly and daily. I need to have all the possible informations about all time frames. But I think the only thing that makes difference is to try to remove the things that's not working in your strategy. You feel like it's just there, not adding anything to your results, and trying to make it more easier, and try to apply it when you feel that the market is also clean and less with less manipulation. You know what I mean? That's why when it comes the idea to reduce the trading hours as well, because the more you trade, the high risk that it's gonna affect you to get more losses. The less you trade, the more the probability to get more winning trades, and your win rate is gonna be more higher.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if you could actually talk about your strategy just a little bit, maybe summarize it in just one sentence, what would it be? Like, are you a scalper, intraday trader?
Basically, what I say to everyone about my strategy is so simple. It's just like supply, demand, price action, specifically price action and reading candles, and basically trying to sell high and buy low. That's it. So it's gonna be stupid for someone, but it's the basic stuff, because this is like buying low and selling high. It makes difference, because a lot of losses and a lot of drama happens when you try to sell or buy in some weird areas, like trying to get the move, like for example, like after the market break down aggressively, like 200 points and 300 points, and someone like already took profit, and another one just started to selling at the bottom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like you make it to yourself, like you expose yourself to some risky levels, and sometimes if you wait for a good level, at least you have more chance, more probability that your setup is going to be a winning trade, because you never know it's going to be a winning trade or a losing trade, but at least you're going to make sure that you're taking your trade from a good level. If it's a loss, it's a loss. If it's a win, it's a win. If it's a loss today, tomorrow is going to be a win. If it's a win today, tomorrow it can be a loss or another win.
I definitely get that, because I think in 2020, this was kind of a famous sentence, like buy low, sell high. You talk so much like a crypto trader, by the way. I don't know why, but I think that's just being a regular price action trader, trading supply demand, and like support and resistance, blah blah blah. It's simple, but simple is powerful in trading. Like without overcomplicating things, I think that's quite important. But what kind of pairs do you usually trade? Like, are you specifically focused on one pair, or do you have a couple of them?
Depends actually on the week or the month. Sometimes I have different pairs actually, like gold, German 40, US 30, sometimes GBP/GPY, even if it's been a long time since I didn't trade GBP/GPY. But mostly focus on gold and German 4. It depends. If, for example, German 4 is not looking good, maybe it's not looking good for 1 week or 2 weeks or a month, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna focus on gold. If gold is, then I'm gonna focus on another pair. But if I'm having like my winning trade for the day or 2 winning trades for the day, that's it. I'm not gonna like look for something else. So basically, if I'm looking for in one pair, I need to look for another pair.
And do you stop at a certain level of profit and, well, I'm done for the day? It's just one trade, 2 trades, or do you look at it as a percentage?
Depends on the price action. Depends on the price action, and depends on the higher time frames as well.
Okay.
That's why I try to look at the higher time frames and see what's the probability to, for example, to go hit that swing high or swing low, or if, for example, that's why also I like to read candles, because reading candles is telling you a lot of information. If like the candle can tell you to fuck off from the market, or you can stay in the market. So
it's one of the most basic stuffs, but I definitely agree with you on this. It tells you a lot, but we tend to actually oversee it, overlook at it. Because I think after 2020, there was this new school of trading that came into our lives, like, oh, it's SMC, it's ICT, et cetera, et cetera. And people were just too focused on what the price did in London or whatever kill zone, or, like the shape of price action actually changed. Nothing has changed in essence, but a lot has changed in people's brains, because they thought that some kind of mechanical, some kind of time-based stuff actually could make them profitable. Maybe some of them has become profitable. I don't know. But I've never seen someone...
It can be like, for example, profitable, but it depends on the person, because a strategy for one person is not gonna work for another one. But it's really good to, if you're for ICT or SNC or anything else, you can take a look at it. And also you need to like modify it, like try to get something from it and remove something from it, because you can't use it as the person who introduced it from the beginning.
Exactly.
Maybe some good things you can take it and use it in your own strategy. That's why I always say, like, never change your strategy, but try to add something that's gonna help your strategy to improve more.
Exactly. I totally agree with you on this, because I've never seen someone saying that, hey, I trade ICT, I trade SMC, I trade this and that and this and that. And I've never seen someone trading the actual way that the education videos have explained it to them. So it's like, you gotta add your perspective in it, because it's your mind that's trading. And speaking of that, like, do you have a certain percentage that you risk per trade, or do you just look at the price action and say, I want to try this one, but it's choppy today, so I'm going to risk less? What kind of risk management do you use?
Depends on the type of accounts. If it's a challenge, maybe a bit more risk. If it's a funded, 1% risk. If it's just, I need like one more profitable day, maybe just 0.5% risk. So basically, if it's a challenge, I can go from 1 to 2% risk, mostly 2%, sometimes 1.5%. Depends also on the max daily loss. If max daily loss is 4%, so I will just go for a 1.5% risk per trade. If it's 5%, I will go to 2% risk per trade. If it's phase 2, maybe I will go only for 1%, because if I can make, for example, 10% in phase 1 with 2% risk, it's the same thing to make 5% with 1% risk in phase 2. It's the same thing. So sometimes you don't want to risk it all in phase 2 from the beginning, to not risk falling in a deep drawdown from the first week. If it's in a funded, basically, like, my risk is fixed like 1%. The only thing when I reduce my risk in funded is if I need like another profitable day. So maybe I'll just risk 0.5% to make 1-to-1 and get my day. That's my goal.
Yeah, I get it. I think that makes sense because especially for traders who have been trading for a long time, like maybe over 2 years, right? Trading the phases now, like the challenge phase, it just looks like a lot of work now, because I think after some point they're just above that. Like they want to go to fund it as soon as possible because that's what gets you money. And you've been in this shit before, like trading the phase. Oh, I know I'm gonna pass. Just give me more funded account. I get it. I get the drill actually. And I'm just looking at your payout right here. You have made $1,229 on a 50K BEM Classic account, which is like a 2-phase account. And you made almost 3% in payout. Let's talk about this one. Why did you choose a 50K? People usually go for like 100Ks. You know this, like if you've been trading for a long time, everyone's like, okay, 100K. Why did you go for 50K? And how was your BEM funding experience?
Basically, it's like the reason why I choose 50K, honestly, was not a big difference. So basically, I was more comfortable on 50K. Sometimes if I feel more comfortable on 50K, is better for me than 100K. It depends on the situation. Depends if I'm coming from a losing streak or even my mentality is more relaxed with 50K. Sometimes even your psychology can be a bit hard to control with the bigger accounts. So when you feel like your psychology or your mindset is becoming low or not that good, so you need to reduce the account size. It's better.
I totally agree with you on this. Yeah, like instead of trading 100K, trading with 250Ks is also good for me, because this way I can try out 2 different risk managements or 2 different strategies that I use. So I think that's definitely a wise choice.
And also something I always say to anyone is if you cannot afford losing 4 times the price of that challenge a month, so you should not buy it. Like
why
for
4
me,
times?
minimum 3 to 4 times a month. It doesn't mean that you need to buy that account 4 times a month, but at least it's gonna put you in a level where you think that it's you can afford that.
Oh, it's a business way. It's a business way. You gotta invest like this much in your business, because trading is business, especially prop trading is a business if you look at it from the right angle. And if you can't afford to lose like 3 to 4 times of it, that's a good way to look at it actually. How was your BEM funding experience overall? Like the team and your trading experience and the platform. Why did you choose the classic type? Because I think right now, like it's like 4 different models, 1 steps and 2 steps. Why go for classic?
So first thing, honestly, because now when you travel in Asia, like a lot of places are banned, restricted from a lot of prop firms. So basically, BM funding not restricted Vietnam where I am right now. So that's the first reason. That's what I'm telling everyone. Second of all, I like classic accounts, 2-step accounts, not trading drawdown, nothing. Also, the price is affordable, good rules like make 8%, 9% for the phase 1, and 5% or 4.5% for phase 2, 9% drawdown. So basically, it's classic challenge like the old school ones. You know what I mean? That's it. Like also payouts are like proceed normal, like less than 2 days, as usual, like as any other firms in the past. And I use also Trader, which is really good also when you execute trades. It's like you just need to put your stop loss, and whenever you click buy or sell, like the system is gonna put your stop loss based on how much stop loss you want exactly. So it's not like 25. You need to edit that. Like sometimes if you execute a bit higher or execute a bit lower.
CTrader is a good platform in terms of that. Like you can adjust a lot of things. You can predefine your risk and your TP. You can even actually set your stop loss to be trailing depending on your profit level. I think CTrader is a great platform. And I heard that there's another platform coming in, but I'm not allowed to say it on air right now. But it's a good one. So let me just say that. We all love an old school account, especially the traders who started out during COVID, because the time we got into trading and the time we discovered prop trading, like two-step models were a hit. Like it was the industry standard. But like sometimes I look back and think nowadays, a lot of firms are competing on doing a lot of different things, right? For example, I don't know, like one of them says, oh, less profits or more drawdown or this much and that much. But I think the most revolutionary thing in the prop firm industry, now I'm going to say it, and it's going to sound like crazy and very simple, but it was the no time limit. I swear to God, there was like this 30-day time limit to pass a challenge and get a payout. Like after you pass a challenge within 30 days, and then you have another 30 days, and then maybe no time limit when you get funded. I think the most revolutionary thing was like bringing the no time limit thing. And right now I'm thinking like, what can be the next most revolutionary thing in prop trading? And I think it's like no daily drawdown, only maximum drawdown. Let's see. I'm actually rooting for this to happen. Thank you, Mohammed, so much for like coming us and talking to us today. I'm glad that your BEM funding experience was also a good one. We love to see you on this platform, and I wish you very, very good trading in your life. You've been always a good trader, so you'll keep on being one as well. But before we conclude, I never asked if you had any advices for traders who want to maybe go out and live their life like you're doing right now, maybe in another country. So do you have any advice for them?
Well, basically, like advice as a trader is like always try to not take long breaks, because that's going to affect your trading system, because it's going to take you a bit more time to get back on track again. Always like risk management, not just on trades, but risk management also when you buy accounts, when you get accounts, you need to manage how much you spending on challenges as well, and not just go all in and depends on one account. Always look for like reasonable targets to have some consistent returns. Always try to invest in more accounts, because the more money coming in, the more you're gonna be more comfortable, especially if you are out of your country, if you're traveling somewhere else. So you have expenses as well, and you need to cover that.
Yeah. I definitely respect that because it's a hard thing mentally, because all of your income depends on your trading. So you got to be actually good at it, and you got to keep a stable mentality to keep going. Thanks so much, Mohammed. This has been a great one. It's always nice to talk to you, and maybe I'll see you on another interview. But at this rate, I'm going to see you in a year within another interview, and maybe we'll talk about your like max allocation, or I don't know, like 100K in payouts.
Yeah, maybe.
Thanks so much for joining in, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you on another.